right? The knowing and doing gap, right? You know how to do it, but you're not doing it. Accountability is a non-negotiable. It's what gets you across the finish line. Accountability is a crucial skill that every professional needs to possess. Being accountable means to do what you know you're supposed to do, right? You know you're supposed to do it, so why aren't you doing it, right? That's why accountability isn't something that you just wake up and just do automatically. At least you programmed yourself that way because you were programmed. And another way of saying that, because some people don't like the word program, we're going to say that when you were a child, right? When you were in your mom's womb, everything that she was saying and doing, the environment around was creating and shaping your identity and your beliefs. Understand that? Like your belief system is like a factory. All right, you're a product of your environment. It's the factory that produces the product. You're the product, right? You develop beliefs. You're the product, right? You develop beliefs and a mindset, a self-image. It created an identity, right? Your personality creates your reality. But people don't think about this. Why? Because people aren't really conscious, right? People aren't really conscious. Conscious isn't just waking up in the morning, oh, I'm conscious. No, we're talking about awareness. We're talking about you're aware of your surroundings and not just on a surface level of saying. You're aware of your environment on a deep level of understanding. You're the observer, right, of the world and self. Accountability is doing what you know you're supposed to be doing. You know that you are supposed to be living your life to the fullest. Why aren't you? Right? Or you know that you should be making this amount more than you've been making. Because most people get stuck at making the same amount of money their whole life because they don't understand what a paradigm is. Think about that. A person makes $30,000 year after year after year after year. If they're conscious, they would use that as a stepping stone, meaning stepping up, right? And then that 30 to go to 40 or 50 or 100,000. And right, your conscious mind is going to keep putting that up. But because you have limited and negative beliefs that are situated in the belief system, the factory, right? Because some beliefs, as you get older, some beliefs you subtract and other beliefs you add on because you're older now. But when you were a child, you were a sponge and you were just getting put into, right? Like the only reason you speak the language you speak is because you were programmed to do it. Some people don't like that word, but you were basically programmed, right? You were giving everything that you have. And even though you changed beliefs, added and subtracted some, the belief system is most likely the same, right? The paradigm, the mental program situated in your subconscious mind, that is, the subconscious mind runs your day 95% of the day, and you're only conscious 5% of the day. Now that's deep, if you ask me. That's like your whole life in a nutshell. 95% of the day, that's damn near 100. Think about that, right? Accountability is the bridge. The accountability bridges the gap between intention and execution, right? Accountability bridges the gap. It connects it, right? The bridge that connects the two. So accountability is the bridge, right? That's why it's so important. Look at it like this. Look at it like this. Affirmations, meditations, visualizations. They're great tools. But without accountability, right, you might not succeed. Because accountability ensures that you continue to practice deliberately on a day-to-day basis and actionable measures. Accountability ensures that. So when you're doing your affirmations or your meditations or you're supposed to do your homework, you got to be accountable for doing your homework, right? Accountability ensures that you do your homework. When you hold yourself accountable, you put in 10%, you get 10% back. You have to take account that your outcomes are your outcomes. So you don't go pointing and playing the blame game and making excuses, right? We don't want you going MIA and, things like that, right? Accountability keeps you on track, right? Accountability fosters a sense of responsibility, commitment, making it harder to abandon or ignore the worthy, worthwhile goal. This isn't just an average goal, folks. This is a worthy goal, all right? You heard the story of the cigarette smokers. It was two smokers. They both didn't smoke in 30 days. A guy walks up and asks him, hey, you want a cigarette? One of the cigarette smokers said, I'm trying to stop. The other one said, I don't smoke. You see the difference? Both guys have been sober from cigarettes for the last 30 days. But when someone asks them, do they want to smoke? One guy says he's trying to stop. The other guy says he doesn't smoke. You understand? The belief system, beliefs. You understand? The identity of these two individuals, the beliefs of these two individuals, the accountability of these two individuals. Big difference, right? So you have the three bricklayers. A traveler is traveling and he comes across three bricklayers. This is how I'm telling the story, right? He asks the bricklayers, what are you building? One of the guys says he's just laying bricks. He's a bricklayer. He's laying bricks. The other guy replies saying that he's building a wall. All right, I'm just working on this section of whatever I'm working on. I'm just working on this wall. The other guy proudly, excitedly says that he is building a cathedral. Right? So what are you building? Kingdom, empire, a legacy, generational wealth that continues generations on and on? What are you building? Your mindset, your identity depend on this, right? This worthy, worthwhile goal, this honest, conscious desire, right? So in order to successfully set and achieve worthy, worthwhile goals, you will need to create a new identity, because you cannot solve your problems with the same mind that created your problems. So if you want to, which I call problems opportunities, but if you want to create a new, you have to create a new mind, because everything is coming from the mind, because the mind is all, right? So you have to eliminate those limited beliefs and negative beliefs so that you identify and you recognize possibilities and opportunities and understand that what you think you deserve is much more, huh? So accountability highlights the fact that you act the way you're supposed to, even when nobody's looking, right? Yeah. Ask yourself, where did my beliefs come from? Are they true? Can I create the new, and how? Because a person with no goals is a person who will not be successful, right? You're drifting. You lost at sea. It's like the ship leaving the dock with no destination. Where are you going? You have no aiming point, right? You have no focal point because you're not focused, right? Where's the wave? Huh? The flow. So a person with no goals is lost. You need goals and you need a plan. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start in order to be great. Overthinking will keep you underpaid. Wishful thinking will keep your plans delayed. Go out and get what's yours, my friend. Peace, love, light, and prosperity.